Hello, Emily here on Just Ask Em with the RJ. I feel like your introduction is going to be interesting and lengthy, so super excited. She is a referral from Rafa, who I had previously on my podcast. This is a paid episode, and once again, I'm always truly grateful to anybody who is investing in me and just trust me with the opportunity to not only advertise you, but kind of just, use my platform to show what it is that you do. So what's a little bit about RJ? Where do we start?
Ooh. And I know you asked that in a lot of your podcasts. And so, am I falling apart?
No,
yeah, that's usually the story of my life.
That's okay.
So when I was thinking about this, like most women, we're every woman. Like, there's no woman that has only one role.
Oh, God, no.
I cannot think of anyone. It doesn't matter if you have children, pets, parents. You're a daughter, you're a sister.
Right. Many roles.
You're a good neighbor. Mm-hmm. I'm a small business owner. Yeah. I'm a beekeeper. I'm a volunteer tour guide for Buffalo. I'm a landlady. World traveler, retared federal agent.
I love it.
But again,
I got a federal agent on my podcast, y'all. That's amazing.
It's all smoke and mirrors. All smoke and mirrors.
I know. So you get into it.
It really is. But yeah, the women and people in general, especially, we have so many roles. Mm-hmm. No one is just one-dimensional anymore. Yeah. And as women especially take on a lot more of the roles. Mm-hmm. Typically in any scenario, we're the worker bees of sorts. Yeah. Hence, I'm a beekeeper.
You're a literal beekeeper.
I'm a literal
She's
beekeeper.
a literal, okay.
I'm not a very good beekeeper. That's a whole nother story.
But you're trying.
But I'm trying.
Yes.
They get very angry at me. They are really not happy with me on most days. But I'm learning. I keep saying to them, guys, I'm trying. Just be patient. Stop stinging me. So.
Oh my God. Well, then you have a high tolerance to pain. That's for sure. And you'll see in a previous post, she has the fabulous shoes. I just got to brag about these just a little bit, like just. And I'm a heel gal, so these are completely approved, completely. So sorry if we can't get those fully in the shot.
Oh, we'll do it.
Right. So okay, as a woman with such an interesting, strong background and career, how has this helped you become who you are today? Obviously, like you said, as women, we have so many roles. Obviously, what you know now, you might have not known in your teens, 20, 30, 40s, that sort of thing. So how has it all come together for you?
I'd say that this job, I was a federal agent for 21 years.
Very
I
nice.
was a diplomatic security service special agent, and we are the law enforcement for the Foreign Service, or the State Department.
Okay.
So we are at every embassy and consulate. And so what people don't always understand is an embassy and consulate, yes, it's the U.S. representation overseas, but those don't run with just Americans.
Okay.
We could not survive without having our local staff.
Okay.
Our local staff are the backbone, the consistency. They are the cultural translators for us.
Okay.
So when we are assigned overseas, which we are multiple times, it's not just going. It's not like your trip to Aruba or your trip to Paris.
Yeah.
It is immersing yourself in another culture for 1 to 3 years.
Wow. Okay.
And typically you're learning the language, you're working with the local people. Yeah. You have to know them, and you have to know them, and they have to trust you.
Yeah.
So that's not just, hey, ¿qué
Yeah.
pasó?
Right.
It's not just
Yeah.
it's like, hey, how is your child doing?
Yeah.
What do you guys like? Oh, this is what you love. Oh, it's whiskey here. Okay. You have to know their likes.
Yeah, it forces you to respect the culture and respect where you are, despite where you come from, but just that humility of, hey, I'm in your country, I'm in your air, how do I learn it? How do I breathe it?
We are guests.
Yeah.
And so that's pretty humbling.
Yeah.
And also you have to make do. Like, until you've had to use an outhouse, like, I'm not kidding. Like, you can't be all that high and mighty when you're using an outhouse.
Yeah. I think people look at me like a diva, which I am, but I did go glamping the other day, and it did have an outhouse. It was probably a nicer one, but I dabbled with it.
But it is humbling. Though.
Yeah.
And especially when I'm overseas and I'm supposed to be the one in charge.
Yeah.
And I talk like a first grader.
Right.
And I need my local staff to help me or to translate. Oh, when they did this, they actually meant this.
Okay.
Like
different dialects.
Different cultural sensitivities.
Yeah.
And that's extremely humbling because
I think, like, I took, I was going to school for business at one point when I was figuring out what the heck I was going to do. And one of the best classes that I took, God, it like, I had previous experience, but it like fueled that experience into just even more knowledge in the sense of, like you said, the importance of body language. One of the things they mentioned was Americans, we don't listen before letting the other person finish, and we're just loud. And I said, my gosh, I think after that, I really enhanced the art of speaking, listening, letting my brain process, and then responding. That didn't only help me in the business world, it helped me in my personal, like in like my relationships, because us women, we're like chihuahuas.
It's all connected. It is all connected.
And that's the amazing thing of it. Yeah.
And now that you're bringing this up, one of the examples, I teach classes, which we'll get into, but when we're overseas these embassies, consulates, our job is to advise the ambassador, to advise Americans in country. But that's everyone from business folks to Latter-day Saints, to Peace Corps, to school children whose parents are serving overseas.
Wow.
So we've got this huge, broad spectrum of people, and we have to teach them to be safe.
That balance, yeah.
And it comes down to, you have to know where you are and the threats that are in your world and the norms. Because if you don't, that's when you get in trouble. And the example I use often is when I was first coming to Buffalo, along the trail when you're biking or running, everyone says, "Hey, go Bills!" And you're like, oh, okay. Like, so here I know in Buffalo on the trail, you say, "Hey, go Bills," and you're good. Well, in Paris, if you smile, because Americans, we smile, right? We're friendly. We're going to get out there.
For the most part. No.
For the most part. But in general, that is a thing that we appreciate. Smile. It's good for you. It uses all these great muscles. And so in Paris, I did that once before I was an agent, and I got myself punched in the face on the metro. Like, because... and I didn't know this at the time, culturally, if you smile in Paris, that means you're insane.
Oh my God.
I mean, so just think of that. We think of Paris as, they're like us, but they speak French. No, you have to know what is going on in the culture and fit in.
Glad I know that now, because I'm a smiler.
Well, okay, but I mean, think about that. Think of how you're going to be perceived. You have to always be looking at what is in your area and be aware of how other people are acting.
Wow. Okay. Interesting.
So I guess in a very long way to say, those are some of the many things I've learned.
So you've been around the world. How was that experience like summed up? I can imagine exhilarating, scary, exciting, crazy, sad.
All of the above.
Right.
All of the above.
Yeah.
I'll admit, I had the opportunity to be in the presidential motorcade down the Champs-Élysées once.
Okay.
Lights and sirens. They closed down the Champs-Élysées. And at one second, I thought to myself, this is a phenomenal moment.
Yeah.
Like, how amazing is this? But then there's also the other side of it, and that's I was the regional security officer, which is a director of security at the embassy in Antananarivo, Madagascar.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
And this was supposed to have been my pleasure tour, right? Yes. This was going to be an island paradise. Everyone's sending me, clips from the film Madagascar. They were doing like little memes of me, like, with all the animals. Yeah. And this was like, woo, right? Well, and that sounded great. Yeah. Well, 6 months later, in February, we had so many political protests. They culminated in a political coup.
Okay.
We had a massacre 2 blocks from the embassy. We were locked down. There were shots being fired through the air. There was tear gas going on. Like, absolute bedlam, right?
Yes.
My ambassador at the time almost got himself executed on public television there. I mean, so all of a sudden, 6 months in, you're like, okay, this is really scary.
Move it.
Yeah, exactly. Move it out. And I was actually the security person in charge of the evacuation of American personnel. Which doesn't go well in a lot of ways. I mean, especially being a young woman.
Yes. Right.
Very, very different. And also being a young woman in a culture that had never seen a woman in this kind of role.
Right.
I remember one of my employees, God bless him, he just looked at me with this disdain one day and he goes, "We've never actually worked for a woman before." I was like, well, okay, well, you're going to have to learn. I mean,
you know what you say, right?
But it was very different for them. So it was.
And I mean, and I think to a point, it's a good exposure for them too, because it's not not that you're going to disrespect their culture in any way, but it's the way of the world in some places. So you have to, whether you like it or not, you do have to adapt to it. And I think it teaches them a certain level of respect, even though it's not what they're used to. So like you said, it all connects. The balance is incredible. And I feel like when you master the balance of almost anything, because there's balance in daily life, business, personal, whatever the case may be. And I feel like that in itself helps you develop that humility, that awareness, the consciousness and mindfulness of others, even if it's what you stand by or not, but just that level of, and I feel like that would diffuse a lot, of negative things if we just had that mindset,
Like everyone from the State Department will tell you, first world problems. And we just laugh because we have all, it's not just me, we have all seen and experienced things. My dear massage therapist in Honduras, she would speak to me in Spanish about how a gang member was targeting her daughter to be property of the gang.
Okay.
Like, I can't even comprehend that kind of anxiety, pressure, fear, terror.
Yeah, and here we are complaining when we run out of toilet paper or something.
We didn't have toilet paper. Exactly.
Oh my God.
And so, talk about putting things into perspective.
And I think honestly, travel would benefit a lot of people, so they're not just narrow-minded to their surroundings and things like that. Go out in the world and see what people are really dealing with. But then on the other side of it, the attitude, the great attitude they still have, even going through that, the appreciativeness, the humility, they're just happy to be breathing. And then it's the entitlement here is mind-boggling. That would be a whole other episode. But it's God, sometimes I want to snap at it, and I'm like, because entitlement it makes my skin crawl. It makes my skin crawl. Because you just...
But it all goes back to the golden rule. Treat others as you would want to be treated.
I know, and it's so basic.
It's so basic.
So with all that being said, doing that for 21 years as a federal agent, what does that training even look like? Where does it begin? What are the steps?
Lifelong learning. And that's one of the things that attracted me to this job.
Okay.
Is we have to be the Jack and Jills of all trades. I know you said that's kind of your thing too, right?
Yeah, I like that.
Because I told you about how we work overseas at the embassies. Well, that's one role. We also do passport and visa fraud investigation. We do training. I've worked at international law enforcement agencies teaching physical security, counterintelligence.
Okay.
We do protection for the Secretary of State and for all foreign diplomats who are not heads of state. So this myriad of things, and we're always having to learn. There's always new rules. There's always new challenges. I started right after, I was post 9/11 when I actually started, but then we were in Afghanistan. That was suddenly, we had to change what we'd been doing, and we had become paramilitary. And suddenly, we're supposed to have, Kevlar, and, we're talking about ceramic plates and helmets. And I'm like, but that's a whole nother skill set that all of us had to have proficiency in. And you're also changing jobs every 1 to 3 years.
Wow.
So you're learning a whole new job. You're becoming a specialist. If you're going overseas, you might be learning the language.
Yeah.
They at times have cultural classes we have to take as part of our language.
Okay.
So training never ends.
But I have to imagine, that sounds like something I should have done, because I used to change my jobs every 6 months to a year. Because I now know about myself, I need to be overly stimulated to stay interested. So with that being said, I imagine there was never a bored moment.
I cannot wait to be bored in my life.
Right.
I am waiting for that day. Because even if I'm in the nurse home, I'd be like, hey, let's do a bingo.
Yeah.
Let's do a bingo night. Let's have a dance off.
I think my entrepreneur journey is because I don't ever think I'll be retired. I just don't. I constantly love doing something.
And that personality type does keep doing that. I am technically retired.
Okay. But you're still here you are.
I have 3 small businesses right now.
So that goes into that next part. What are some of your businesses now?
Well, I own a home and I rent it out.
Okay.
because I'm restoring this historic home that had been a rental for many years. There's the beekeeping. We'll see about profit on that. But the big thing, and this is my bread and butter, and the thing I'm probably the most proud about, besides being a mom, of course, my dear child.
Yes.
It's called the Edgy Gazelle.
Okay.
And so I moved to Buffalo, and I was a federal agent, and I have all this international experience. Well, how do you translate that to Buffalo, right?
Yeah.
I mean, how do I make that? And I searched for jobs for a while, trying to figure out what I wanted to do, and I didn't fit into any category.
Right.
Like, I kept trying. I mean, I think the low point was when I didn't get hired to peddle dog food in Canada for General Mills, and I'm like, okay, we have to rethink this. Like, I'm not kidding.
Let me just cut my resume in half.
I mean, this was like, okay, I can't get a dog.
How did you end up in Buffalo?
Oh, that's a whole nother story.
Okay, you're in Buffalo.
But
okay.
I guess the good quick tie-in is my great grandmother came from Poland.
Okay.
And settled here,
Okay.
and she was she actually bought a property and had a rental unit, and she was also a bootlegger. But kind of neat that my grandfather was born and raised here, and kind of coming back to that.
Okay.
So that's a short story.
Right.
But love Buffalo, love the people, love the Bills, love the architecture, love the city of good neighbors. Love the water. It just seemed like it had everything that I was looking for. The historical architecture.
Right.
So getting back to the Edgy Gazelle. So was doing a lot of soul searching, and was just talking to people, and all of a sudden I was with some lovely mentors, and they're like, that's it. You need to start a business. You need to be a consultant.
Okay.
Like, you have this experience going into embassies and making them safe and keeping people safe. And you presented, and you know how to reach different levels. You know how to make churches safe.
Yes.
That's how you can.
That's a scary thought that's a necessity.
And it is. I mean, but it is.
Right.
And so all of a sudden, they're like, this is it. They're like, you need to do this.
Yeah.
No one else is doing this in Buffalo.
And that's the key.
No one.
That is the key.
And I'm like, okay, let's try this. So what this has turned into is, so it's Edgy Gazelle, and the focus is people and community. Because when we think of security, you think alarms, you think cameras, you think big burly security people. Those are all great parts of your concentric circles of security. But we forget that the best human resource is the human resource. I mean, that is the brain, and people's ability to protect themselves is what's kept us alive for millennia.
Exactly.
And there's also so many common things that you can use to protect yourself.
Yes.
And so I was going through and thinking of cost-effective measures for churches, nonprofits. My first two clients were wonderful nonprofits in Buffalo.
Okay.
So working with the people,
Yeah.
because nonprofits or educational institutions or churches or community centers don't have money for a full-time security person, nor do they need that.
Yeah.
But they do need that consulting. So I work on crisis management plans and drills with them, working with their boards or their employees or their patrons, teaching people. My signature class is Women Self-Defense and Empowerment.
Okay. Like it.
But there's also crisis management. How do you survive and even thrive through a crisis?
Right.
Or stereotypes and how it impacts our view of security.
Yeah.
Things like that. Teaching people how you can make your spaces safe. One of the best security measures that people don't think about is a doorstop.
That's funny. I just bought one the other day, too.
Okay, a doorstop. People laugh. You put a doorstop in, no one is getting through that door. Whether you're in a hotel room or...
My dad just said that. Because the ones I bought, it has an alarm on it.
Yes, the alarm ones, and they use
I'm
them
going to
for
have to
college
take the second one back.
No, I know that product. It's a great product. It's less than $20.
No, there's a store, long story short, there's a store my cousin told me about. You go, you fill the box, and the box is like $20 regardless of. So I didn't even spend that much on it, and it came with two.
But those are the kind of things. They come with magnets. You put them on the doors, and you can just pull them out.
Yeah.
Things like that. Thinking outside the box about what security is.
And I think, so like, I'm grateful. Like, I was all sisters. You can a baby in a Latino family. You can imagine how that was. Woo! we had our own security. But fast forward, like, mom and dad didn't hand us everything, but they handed us street smarts and just like awareness. And that part.
Bingo. It is the awareness.
And I hang out with some of my female friends and I'm like, holy cow, I worry about you sometimes. Because it's just like, those things of awareness. Number one, if you're a woman, if you're a pretty woman, if you're a petite pretty woman, I'm just like, we got to be more aware, conscious, like there are creeps out here, or like just being nice before being snooty, because being snooty can, lead in a direction that it didn't have to go to.
But you nailed it. It is the awareness. So I teach this women empowerment class.
Good. I might have to take that.
I don't know how it started. To this day, I don't know how. Now, I do know
That's the beauty of it.
That according to the World Health Organization, and this has stayed consistent for many years, 1 out of 3 women will be the victim of violence. That's reported.
1 out of 3?
1 out of 3. Look it up, World Health Organization. This has been a consistent. Now, if I said to you, 1 out of 3 people are going to die by carrying a water bottle, wouldn't that be a pandemic or a crisis?
Right.
I mean, look at COVID.
Yeah.
What was the percentage of people that actually were affected or who died? It's definitely much lower than women who are going to experience violence in their life. And that's reported.
Yeah.
That's not even looking at it.
Right.
From the holistic view of it. So why aren't we looking at it? And it's also that awareness. And that's what my class is based on. It's the awareness, and it's using the innate gifts you have inside of you to protect yourself.
Yeah.
Your brain, your intuition. And this is kind of throughout every product that my company does.
Yeah.
It's how do you use what we already have?
Right.
Like if we've survived this long, there's a reason for it.
Yeah.
So I start every class by saying, it's usually women, when is the last time you were concerned about your security and safety? There are 2 answers consistently. All the time, or someone will give me an example within the last 2 weeks of when they didn't feel that something was right.
Okay.
So it's really teaching women to use what they have, be aware of your changes, be aware of your instinct, your intuition, because humans are the only ones that ignore intuition. We think we're silly when we listen to it.
Yeah.
We're overreacting, we're silly, we're dramatic, whatever horrible adjective you want to assign to that. In actuality, that is the way we survive.
It's a free, phenomenal advice that's built in us.
Exactly.
Literally.
And we choose to say, no, that's okay. I'm just making this up.
Yeah,
because
right.
you cannot make up intuition. You cannot be a hypochondriac with intuition. If you have it, it is valid. So what other thing that came out of this is teaching women to use what they have. And this is so much fun. You play the what if game.
Yeah.
What if something happened to me right now? Not everyone's going to carry a gun. Not everyone is going to have a taser or, whatever, or pepper spray. All great things, right? But you're not always going to have those available.
Right.
But what you might have available, which is a great weapon, is a pen and any soft flesh. I mean, we just took these things out of the office while prepping. Everyone carries water bottles
And
now.
bigger than that.
And bigger than that and full. These are fantastic weapons. I mean, this is kind of tongue-in-cheek, but at least this is a pointed edge.
You're at least slowing them down.
You're slowing them down. Or a planner.
And if it's a hardcover.
And a hardcover. We looked at, here's a mirror.
Yeah.
This can be used a myriad of different ways. It's a hard object that can be inserted into soft flesh to make it. I'm laughing. We found this plant. Or how about a hot cup of coffee?
Yeah. Yeah.
There are so many things you can use. We have scissors. Every office is going to have those. Anything can be used. Now, in your real world, you're out a shopping cart.
Yeah.
You're at a restaurant, a bowl of hot soup.
Yeah.
We talked about if you're Latina.
Yeah.
Your shoes.
I'd be ready all the time without my heels.
Your shoes. Look at your heel. These are weapons. We joke about it.
Yes.
Picture frames.
Yeah.
Your purse.
It's really just about the impact,
Think of it.
Nails.
Nails. Anything you can get your hands on can be used as a weapon.
Yeah. And I think, as you're talking about this, I think a lot of the time is maybe it's because we're in America, whatever the case may be, we're so spoiled with such a surplus of supplies or things, or like you said, the reliability of always having a phone or this and that. And I said, I've been thinking to myself, I said, oh my God. I said, all you see is people out always recording, boomerang, this and that. And I said, I'm only 34, but I know the era of before MySpace, and I think to myself, oh my God, at one time we were not recording our whole lives and posting it. But even with that, what about the places or depending where you are, you might not have your full purse of my purse. I mean, I got everything from a pharmacy to a retail store. Yeah. But what if I'm cute outfit, a small purse? What do I have, you know? So it's like, I think that's the balance in, okay, yeah, you could have, you know, your gun, your pepper spray, knife, whatever the case may be. But what if you didn't? So like you said, now it leads to the title of utilizing the resources within yourself where, shoot, if I had nothing to take off or not even to heal, how am I protecting myself? And I think that's so far from women's mindset, like, oh, that'll never happen until it does. I love like 48 Hours on the mystery shows and everything. And they have hundreds and thousands of episodes because it happens.
1 out of 3.
We're not, and I know it could never happen, but the reality is, what if it did, and how are we prepared for it?
And that's it. It's just looking around your world. What are the resources that you have? And I mean, be creative. Lysol in small things. Hand sanitizer.
My level of creativity, I think
hairspray.
I think that's why I have peace of mind. I was like, if the world ended, I think I might be okay. Because it's that creativity. But you have, like you said, thinking outside the box and expanding your mind to what if?
Yeah. Now, one of my clients, it's a nonprofit, and I always make sure to keep the culture. We never want people to feel restrained or that they're living in this, security state.
Yeah, not fearful.
So in this one, we used to cover the windows, use beautiful material. That creates a safer space so you can't see in. Blinds.
Things,
It's those small things, but making sure that they mesh in with the culture and don't make people feel like they're the ones in prison.
Yes.
Another client I had, beautiful landscape out front. I said, you need to cut back the landscape. There's a lot of homeless people in the area. You were concerned about that. That's one of your threats. You need to cut back the landscape. Within 1 month, they said, you were right. We had someone hiding behind there. Again, I'm not saying cut it down and put up a wall. I'm saying think about it. Use lighting. Use motion sensor lights. Those very simple, inexpensive things you can do that make you, so the part of the reason, that make you not the slowest gazelle. And that's how the Edgy Gazelle came out, because bringing this all back, a gazelle is not a predator.
Yes.
It survives by its speed.
Okay.
It survives using its horns. It survives by its instinct.
Okay.
And that's how it survives. So as long as you're not the slowest gazelle, you can hopefully. So you can, as we say, we outpace the threat.
Okay.
Is what we're saying.
And I love getting little gifts from my from my guests here. So this is one of them. Comes in a variety of colors.
Yes,
correct?
It does.
So tell me how to use. I mean, I think I have an idea. Is that correct?
And the answer is use it any way you can to protect yourself.
Okay.
So people always say use keys. Absolutely, use whatever you have. This is actually my logo, and by the way, the filament of this is created in Buffalo, and they are 3D printed in Buffalo.
Very
so
nice.
100% Buffalo product.
Okay, I love it.
And the answer is use it on any soft flesh you can get into.
Okay, and this has on the sides as well.
Any soft flesh you can get into to give yourself the edge to protect yourself and get away safely.
Very nice. Okay.
And I'm a runner too, so I just like this because I can hold this.
I'm not. Well, I look at people who run and I'm like, that looks so nice and so relaxing. I'll get there one day.
It's not relaxing.
My cardio is terrible, believe it or not. But that, and I think about my one girlfriend, she's in Tennessee, and Tennessee is much more country, and she goes running, and like, I think about that stuff, and I see these like pretty women just like in between all these trees, and I'm like, I worry for them because you hear so many crazy things. So it's like things like that, you hope like they're protected.
And yes, we know that sometimes people are targeting women, but you're going to target the slowest gazelle. You're going to target the person who's not in good shape, because that's
oh my God, I'm in danger.
But no, think of that. You're going to target the person who's not aware, who's not paying attention, who's not. No one wants to attack someone who's going to fight back.
That's too much of a challenge.
And we do that, and this is applicable. Again, we talk about micro and macro. Embassies and consulates. We've done post-ops of terrorist attacks, and the terrorist will say, well, we attacked another country because they weren't as fortified as the Americans. Or porch pirates. We're going to go to the house that doesn't have the Ring camera. We're going to attack the woman who is on her phone with her headphones on, not paying attention. So you don't want to be the most vulnerable. So don't make it easy for people.
And I think like, so, you mentioned at the beginning of your class of like when somebody might like not feel safe. I said it's kind of amazing for me because I'm so grateful for the awareness that I do have, because it's really not often that I don't feel safe, simply because she's seen in the like first few minutes how particular and OCD I am.
Which I love.
With that being said, though, the benefit in that is just that heightened awareness. When I get in I don't care. I can be in the West Side, East Side, Williamsville, in the mid. I don't care where. I get in my car and I lock my doors.
Absolutely.
Because number one, if I'm not taking off right away, what's stopping somebody open that door and knocking me out? And there's that. So, like, I literally think of all that stuff, or if I'm in my car and I'm on my phone, we got to stop doing this. Number one, as a woman, keep your head up, peripheral. Like, if somebody's, like, rolling up on you, like, right there. So, just, it's such minimal things that a lot of people don't think about. But God forbid if it was something, it can be major.
Well, I mean, why not use what we have? Whether that's our instinct and what's innate.
Right.
Or what we have in our car. I lock my car doors every time as well. Yeah. Absolutely. Why not?
I've gone to, I used to travel to New York City to visit a friend quite frequently. It's worse now, but like back then with the trains and everything, I don't have sense of direction where I was born and raised. So I would go to New York City, obviously trains, signal. I screenshot the maps. So I could figure out, if I don't have signal, I can reference my screenshot, figure out what trains I'm going on.
Perfect.
I've gotten on a train and I'm like, I'm going the wrong way. Okay. I got off and I went to the other side and then I was going the right way. But the point of that was I wasn't like, oh my God. I'm a female by myself in New York City. Yeah, that's number one.
Do not open yourself up.
I could be lost as hell and I'm like, I'm lost right now. Just stay calm. Just look like,
and eyes up. Yep. Keep confidence.
And I swear that has like saved me frequently. It gives me comfort. I have peace of mind of, well, if somebody's like messing with me, that's either like really targeted or intentional, because the posture, the body language, I learned so that in my in that business class, and it just literally changed my outlook forever, where like posture, shoulders back, walk confident. Not, you don't have to have the nose up in a cocky way, but
you are still on the awareness.
Yeah.
So when I was in Toronto, we used to live there, and I remember looking around on the platform and every single person besides me was on their phone. That's great and all, right? We got to get our stuff done.
Yeah.
When's the last time a rapist was on their phone? Or a thief?
Yeah, they're just sitting there like,
Yeah, exactly. They can just but think of it.
Yeah.
If the bad guys aren't doing it, why would you put yourself in a vulnerability?
Make it easier.
And don't make it easier.
And like you said, I understand sometimes there's things that like need to get done. But once again, it's like, it's definitely a discipline and consistency that once you train your mind to have that awareness, and almost it's literally checking in with yourself. So like me, if I'm out or if I'm out alone, and there's a lot of people around me, I'm in a public setting, I'm on my phone, there's this consciousness, a light bulb that goes, okay, you've been looking down for a while. Look up, look around at my surroundings, see what has changed, make sure nothing looks crazy or out of the ordinary. So once again, just minimal things like that, but that awareness.
When you said that just now, I thought it's like a gazelle. I've been to Africa on safari.
Okay.
And yeah, the gazelles are out in the field, they're, munching, and every once in a while, someone will look up and scan.
Yeah.
Like, learn from the animals how they survive. We need to be more like that.
And once again, resources around us, and so many of these things, and I laugh because the world we live in, nothing wrong with it. Because I love my nails. I'll have a whole separate job if I need to. I love my heels, this and that. But these ladies, the money that you are investing on certain things, and then it's like something like this, let's say you're selling it, or something that would increase your safety, like a doorstop or like a camera. We have to learn how to prioritize in things that might save our lives. Because the priorities are wacky sometimes. Like, you'll spend this $200 for a new set of lashes, but oh my God, $50 for a doorstop or a camera, that's it.
Yeah.
But that most definitely can save you walking in your door with those lashes you just got.
So I have this part of my class. Well, and I call it the do nots. And I hate this because, I show pictures of things that you shouldn't be doing all the time, like being on your phone, drinking copious amounts of alcohol. And I go through, I have a picture of a woman wearing a beautiful dress and heels. Now, what I say though is I love my drinks, but I'm going to drink in a place I know it's safe. I love wearing my dresses and my heels sometimes too, but if I'm going to be walking alone, I'm going to put on sneakers or a pair of leggings. It's not saying don't do these things, but recognize your environment.
Yeah.
And make sure that you can do what you need to.
You're adapting to a point, or not sticking out so much, and it's like, hey, here I am. And like, is it like for me, like, well, number one, I live downtown. Very, very big blessing, while I still live, in my apartment with me and my dog. But if I'm going to somewhere that's 10 minutes away, and like, okay, I might not be meeting out with my boyfriend, or just I'm meeting out with girlfriends, I'm going to pay that $9 to $10 for the Uber ride versus parking, having to walk to the place by myself. Uber, you could drop me off. It's recorded.
Yep.
So things like that, I like to dress up. I'm very conscious of...
Yeah, great. Dress up. But then take the Uber.
Right.
Exactly.
Well, yes. Or like, and every day, my type of work, I can dress up, throw on my heels, throw on a nice outfit. I'm also conscious of that. Do I get complimented throughout the day? Yes. And that's another thing. Ladies, be conscious of what you're wearing, and you have to have the understanding if you're going to get complimented by a certain, by a certain person or in a certain way, you can't exactly be upset. So like if somebody says a sexy comment or this and that, it might not make it right, but your response can matter too. So
and I think that's the important part. Now, regardless of how you dress, if you don't like what someone is saying to you or it doesn't feel right, well, you don't. No, I never tell people to change what they are. Yeah. But you don't have to engage with that person.
I know,
because that is a way that they are trying to engage you. They are trying to pull you into their orbit. And the answer sometimes is keep going and ignoring it.
Right.
Because you are pulling in. Why are they trying to pull you in?
Yeah.
An example I use, it has nothing to do with dress, but we were at a law enforcement conference with women, and a gentleman who was using a wheelchair rolls by me and hits my chair. And all of us jumped up. Oh, sir, we're so sorry. We're okay. Well, he took my wallet.
Oh.
Okay. But our first response was, he's using a wheelchair. Well, and we dropped all of that awareness. Yeah. And I'm sure he knew that. We let him in ours. Because anyone else would have done that. My first reaction would be to back off.
Yeah.
So just...
And it's a scary thought.
If people are trying to engage you, disengage. If it doesn't feel right, it doesn't feel safe, don't give them entree into you. Don't let them get closer if it feels wrong at all.
Yeah, I always say, and I say that to say just like, I'll always be respectful and nice. And then like...
You don't have to be nice. No. Okay. No. And we have this notion that we have to be nice as women, as Americans, however you want to classify it. You do not have to be an airline hostess. You do not have to be a game show host. You are not selling a car. There is nothing that says you have to be nice. This is your security and your safety.
Right.
And I don't mean to be so harsh about it, but this is about your security and your safety.
Okay.
And people know that in general, women do try. We all want to be nice people.
I think they read that about me.
But we all want to be nice people. 95% of us want to do the right thing. We want to be friendly. We want to be nice. But there are bad actors out there.
Right.
And don't let them use that part of you
take advantage of you. Right.
And a lot of people do.
And like I said, and those people can tell that, and then it's like, it's sad to kind of use that area of vulnerability, but they do, and that's, like you said, that's the harsh reality of the world we live in.
But I don't think it's harsh. I think this is the way it's always been.
Right,
I
true,
really do.
True.
Now, if you're at work, you can be as nice as you want to be because you know it's safe. If you're going to a spa, probably the same thing. Like, look at your environment.
Right.
But if you're in a public place, that doesn't mean you have to be friendly. Like, you don't owe anyone that.
Yeah.
So a few weeks ago, I was in Aldi's, and a gentleman who was using a wheelchair comes up to me and he starts talking about a product. I'm in the aisle of shame, just loving my aisle of shame. And I said, no. And I just said, yeah, whatever, and walked away.
Yeah.
Like, I don't owe him that conversation.
Yeah.
And it is hard, especially for women.
Right.
But you don't owe anyone a smile. You don't have to make everyone's day.
Yeah.
What you do need to do is protect yourself.
Right.
And that doesn't mean change your personality. But you got to know who your
You
audience
can't always
is.
let it out fully just anywhere, pretty much, you know, pick and choose, like your personality.
Be aware of where you are. If you were walking through a bad area of town that's known to be a bad area, would you be smiling at everyone?
Probably not.
And would you be saying hello?
Right.
No, you would be. So just extend that to different areas of your life.
So do you have any upcoming workshops or classes?
All the time.
Good.
Oh my gosh. Well, all the time. I am always coming up with new. So I have, the first part of this women empowerment, but I'm also developing a second part about how to harness your fear, and also focusing more on the physical aspects of things you can do.
Okay.
We talked about things around your world that you can use besides, your intuition, your weight.
Okay.
All of us have weight, right? You can use your weight in certain ways to throw someone off balance.
Okay.
As a woman, you can use your bigger muscle groups. Like if you look at my arms and my legs, like most women, your legs are your powerhouse, not your arms. But we're taught to think like men. Punch them in the face.
Right.
Well, that's great, except for this is not the most strongest part of my body. If we're going to use a hand, use a heel palm. I mean, listen to that.
The difference,
Listen to that strength. So learning to use your own body to protect yourself.
Okay.
So that's going to be in part 2.
Exciting.
Yes.
Now, and if somebody wants to get in contact or find out what classes or upcoming things you have, how can they do that?
So I have my website, www.edgygazelle.com.
Okay, perfect.
And I'm also on Instagram and Facebook.
Nice.
And I'm also coming out with a new website.
Oh.
So you'll be able to sign up online.
Great.
And I list my classes.
Okay.
And just, even just reaching out to me.
Okay, perfect.
Emails, edgygazelle.consulting@gmail.
Okay,
Super
and I'll be
simple.
sure to tag your website in the
that'd
YouTube
be
channel, because
awesome.
then I can at least give them some direction of where to find you.
Well, that would be awesome.
Great. Well, thank you so much for joining me
This
today.
has been such a pleasure.
Yes,
Can I give you a hug?
Of course.
Oh, thank you. See, now this is
You're
safe.
welcome.
Because
Yes.
I know when to say her.
Absolutely. So you've seen it here on Just Ask. This is RJ. You heard her incredible story. Can people purchase these if they'd like?
They sure can. Stitch Buffalo carries them.
Okay. Oh my God. So the funny thing, the office that he is expanding to, I want to say I seen Stitch in there, if I am correct.
Oh, probably.
That's hilarious.
They are wonderful people, wonderful partners.
That's great. But that's great to know, because I said, between all my businesses, this is always some type of marketing or advertisement. So they did that. They actually did that. They created this?
No. A friend of mine, but they sell them for me.
Very nice.
I've worked with them on different community projects, and
Very nice.
so they sell them at Stitch Buffalo, or I can send people.
Yeah.
It's Buffalo,
but
I
it's so
can
good
drop
to have
them
those
off.
different avenues. Yeah. Okay, well, stay tuned if you want to join in on any classes or workshops. Like I said, I'll attach the website to this episode. And this is RJ, so subscribe.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.